What's good, superstars? Back with another live stream video. You got Superstar Joe. You got Superstar Bob Sales in the building. How's it going, Bob? Oh, OG friend in the space. How you doing? Guys, if you're new here, do not forget, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification. You know, whenever we go live, talk about your favorite VV content. You can also become a superstar VIP, $2.99 a month. Hit the join button under the video. Get one of those stars next to your name. We finally saw a super duper rare star. I think that means yours is somewhere around the corner, Bob. But Bones yesterday putting out the first comment with a super duper rare logo in there. So big flex. And Rob and I were trying to put together something special for the super duper rares who've been here. That's 2 years of support, continuous support, and we're very, very grateful for all of that. You guys been through the highs, the lows so far with us, and supporting us so long. It's really humbling. So thank you guys, and thank you, Bob, for being one of those supporters.
Yeah, I'm not sure if mine's changed. Funny enough, I was only thinking about that yesterday or the day before, that my star had not changed yet. So
it's almost there. I'm sure we could find out in the back end if you want to know exactly how far along you are. But also, guys, if you want to follow us on X, follow us on Instagram, join the Discord. The Discord is a great place to get to know the other superstars. Like, very, very, very fun environment. Lots of people in there teaching each other about projects that we don't even cover on the channel sometimes, or giving more insight than we ever show on here. I mean, the best way to learn is to learn from others and in the space. And again, there's other people on the space as well. Like Bob Sales has his own YouTube channel. If you're into the veve platform, he does detailed breakdowns of a lot of the drops that come out. I mean, some of the most detailed, in-depth breakdowns that there is. He goes to work researching long hours to put out these videos for us. So, I mean, if you haven't already, definitely go check out Bob Sales on YouTube. And give him a follow, give him a subscribe, because the work and effort that goes into his channel, a lot more editing that goes into this channel, I'll tell you right now. So, Bob, why don't you let people know a little bit about your channel?
Yeah, so I've been going for probably, I don't know whether I'm the same as you guys. Am I around that area, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I never made it as big as that.
I remember you being in the comments from like day one with us. So
somehow I never made it as big as you guys yet, but yeah. But yeah, my channel is all about drop histories mainly. So it never used to be like that. It was more like this channel where it was the topic of the week and stuff. And then old Rhubarb sort of left us, joined the veve team. And then after that, I started doing the deep digs because I missed it. And then they started to get even deeper than old Rhubarb's digs. And then I just started to enjoy that side of the videos. Some of the stuff, what you find out, you just wouldn't know it if you wasn't looking into. I mean, some of the videos I've done now, Blackpink, Banksy, I've done Avatar, I've done Disney Castle, The Haunted Mansion, I've done Blade, I've done Wolverine, I've done just some of the weird ones, even like the Louis Vuitton partnership with the boots and the Sea Warriors. I remember all of that like it was yesterday, and that's nothing that I would ever normally need to know or learn.
No, it's true. It's a great comparison. You know, veve 3 before Corey moved on to the veve team was doing great detailed breakdowns, and a lot of people have been looking for that. So if there's any extra exposure for your channel, hopefully some people are able to find it through this platform. But again, like I said, Bob's been around since the beginning, as long as we know, 2021 days, covering the platform. Very, very detailed information in that brain of his. I mean, every time I watch one of your videos, I learn something new. That's something I feel like it's never just there to be there. Like, it's something that you can tell the hard work that goes into it. I mean, there's a lot of people who do that type of content where they do some deep dives, but like you said, you might be the deepest diver in the space. So really appreciate all that work that you're doing, and I think a lot of people are starting to recognize, which is cool to see. Like, watch your journey from the beginning when maybe brand new channel, still putting in the same level, if not more work now, and finally some people starting to come around and give you your kudos, and I think hopefully that gives you the motivation to keep it going, because we need people like you, and we need channels like yours in the space to keep it informative. Like, people sometimes don't know as much, and veve doesn't always do that type of content. Like, veve sometimes will do a little bit of content around their drop, or have like some creators talk about the artwork or something like that, a little bit of a sneak peek. Corey still might do something like that, but when it comes to other drops, or some big prominent drops, or maybe they have a big marketing push and the focus is in that direction. You got channels like Bob Sales coming in hard, like Blackpink, and giving another angle to it. It's not just about the collectible. It's not just about the mint numbers, the edition sizes. Sometimes it's about where did the fandom come from? How come the fandom's such a big deal? Like that type of thing there. So again, very different type of content and definitely much needed. So I want to talk about some of the upcoming drops here, Bob. And there's been a couple of big announcements from the VV fam. So we're gonna go through that and we'll get your take on each one of these here. So let me share this screen out here first. Oop, that's called stopping sharing the screen. 1 second here. Okay, so first one, we got this announcement today, and this is the Carnage drop that a lot of people have been waiting for. Again, you had to hold a bunch of Marvel Mighties that were venomized. You had to venomize them and then hold the venomized versions, and then that will allow you to craft this. And this is a paid to craft item. The quality looks incredible. We don't know if it's going to be static or if it's going to have movement to it. I don't know if you know more than me on this, Bob, but I think this is the first we're seeing, right?
Yeah, I would have thought so. And I'm kind of like you, where the Mighties has never been majorly my bag. So I actually stayed away from this one just because I'm not the Mighty's biggest fan. I actually own the Symbiote, or whatever you want to call it, and I actually got a good mint of that, but I kept that as it was. But I didn't actually collect any of the Mighties whatsoever with this one.
Yeah, I mean,
that looks really nice.
Yeah, the promo of it on this is incredible. If I had to guess, I would think that it's not animated because there's so many different little parts there, but maybe it is. Like maybe we'll see, because we did see a high level animated collectible with the Symbiote, right? Like when that came out and he's on top of the lamppost, very detailed, very high quality. This has been a long time coming, so it could be something that has been taking time to get animated. I think if the animation does come out, it will be very, very well received if it is of this level of quality. But regardless, even if it's not animated and it's just a static, it looks like they've leveled up when it comes to the quality of the collectible. I don't know if quality at this point though is enough still for certain types of drops. We've seen that from things like the Wolverine. I thought the Wolverine drop was pretty well made, well designed. I mean, that was a highly anticipated, long time coming drop, and it's done basically what everything's doing in this type of market. And I don't think it's necessarily a VV thing when it comes to that type of stuff. I just think that it's the appetite at this point and what we can do with these types of collectibles. I don't think any platform in the space right now has the what we can do with these type of things yet that is going to make the regular average Joe come in and say like, okay, I want this and I need this and this is why I want it. Like Blackpink was a good test, I think, and that's the great thing with VV is they got all this IP and new IP all of the time, so they can test different markets out as time goes on. So like Blackpink came out, you tested that market, see if they had an appetite. Now you got the Marvel, obviously they've been in bed with for a long time, and we know from the history and you being here just as long that Marvel has been well received when it came to the space, at least in the heyday. It's about how we get back there now, and how we can, in our opinion, how we can get that utility for these types of things here. So, I mean, first things to say though is that the quality of the collectible is a huge upgrade. It looks like from some of the previous drops, and that I think that's the first step you got to do. Bob, what else do you think on this?
So I would say it's going to be a bust to me. It looks like a bust. But we did also get the Swamp Thing collectible, and that's one of my favorite collectibles.
That did, and
it's great, yeah. Fairly detailed. It's really detailed, actually. The sounds on it's really good. The little butterflies or the leaves or whatever it is that pops off, it's really good. So they could animate that, but I would say that's a bust.
Well, it could be curious to see what happens here because it is kind of hard to get into. Like if you think about it, right? Like you had to do all those other crafts. A little bit of a higher price to entry. But we have seen higher prices to entry when it comes to some of these crafts before. Like we saw the Thanos glove, right? Where if you had to hold that was like a year coming where you had to hold all the different stones, then you had to craft, and then you were able to get whatever one you got. And then airdrop of Thanos, and none of those particularly went crazy well. But this one here, maybe it will be scarce enough. Like that back in that time, there's a lot more people doing that type of crafting. We've seen some people leave the space in general, and this one here, the quality is there. So I mean, we're gonna see again. We're gonna test if the quality is something that matters. If it's something that can push it over the edge. I'm sticking to our guns. I still think we need to see not more in terms of directly from veve, but in terms of this entire space. We need to see more of how the implementation of this stuff can bring the average user. And I think there's been other drops announced that might be a good start for that. And first, I want to go to the chat here. We got Omi Daily Burn here. He's first, second, and third. I don't know if that works like that. Like if you just type that all out, does that count? But I mean, he's got at least 3 comments in there, so that's cool. And then Sleeping Comics is fourth, so he's not sleeping too hard. If Bob was in the chat though, he might be first because Bob has like almost the record of number of firsts in our comments down below. Yeah, sleeping is always first in a lot of people's books. We got Mr. MC1 in the house. How's it going, Sanjay? Hope you are doing well. I know that he was a big fan of your. I remember he was a big fan of your Blackpink drop. He shared that on Twitter. So that coverage that you did.
It was also in our music Twitter space earlier as well for a little while. We done a music Twitter space, me and Duck and Cover, and we keep doing them every week. No one seems to join them, mind you. And each time we do it, it's an off the cuff sort of music space. We have a theme each week, have a couple of beers, have a laugh, expect bad language the whole way through it. But it's just for the fun of it. It's like a light-hearted one each week. Neither of us are used to doing Twitter spaces, so it's kind of funny for that aspect of it as well. And it's just more to hang out and play some music, do something different. We've been doing the Pokemon stuff as well recently. And...
So you're doing it Fridays, every Friday?
Yeah, we're going to try and we might do it Saturday next week because I think veve rugged us today with their karaoke party.
I mean, that's funny because I was trying to look around on X for some spaces today and see that space come up. So I don't know if it's something that maybe it didn't get out there or didn't get. I don't know how the algorithms work, but definitely would have jumped up there and said, "What's happening with you and Duck and Cover for sure." We got to learn those algorithms on X. Like we don't do too many spaces either. We do have one next week.
I still haven't even learned them on YouTube yet. Let alone X.
YouTube
still hates me to this day. I'm telling you.
Now you can start to blame like this is playing on X and on YouTube. So I mean, it's starting to get there. We're starting to get the Web3 of YouTube and social media. We got Gus. This channel is progressing in an interesting way. I'm here for it. You crazy Canadians just Canucking it up, not giving a F, living life in the molasses lane. You know what? That's a pretty good description of what's happening here. We're just going day by day here, continuing to do what we do. MC1. Getting his flowers. Bob is incredible. There you go. His Blackpink video is one of the best. Definitely does great detail. I mean, you got the fan club in the house. Like I said, if you guys are just catching this, definitely check out Bob's channel, Bob Sales. And if you're into veve, especially, he's got great detailed vids. What's going on? We got Marvelous Packs, loving the FUD. How's it going? MPAX again does a lot of X spaces. Fun time sometimes. Like sometimes you just go in there, you listen to these guys banter, and it's just a good time. I don't know if you've been keeping on top of it, Bob, but there has been a lot of separation in the space when it comes to FUD and Moon Boys and all that stuff. But I think at the end of the day, everybody still wants the best. I mean, I just gotta stop FUDding, I guess. We got D. Oh, D and Hanano are live now, I think. I want to be honest here. I was supposed to go up before their live stream, and then I fell asleep. Not feeling the best.
You sound exactly like me.
Yeah, not feeling the best today, but we're making it happen. I really appreciate you coming, Bob, because you're bailing me out from talking the whole stream too, right? So saving my voice a little bit.
I tried to reach out to you last week as well because I'd missed you a little bit as well.
Yeah, I know it's tough, especially like now with the time change and all that stuff.
Yeah, the 9 till 5 shift now. It's killing me. I'm telling you, absolutely killing me. I could not get used to
the normal hours.
After 10 years of working American time and night time, always being up, the 9 till 5 is killing me. killing me.
Okay, at least we got it before the weekend. It's you're just hanging out. We got Jake saying happy full moon. So there's a full moon happening. Apparently, that's maybe why I'm not feeling the best. 4 a.m. for you. Go to bed.
It's 4 a.m. This
sleep.
explains the hairstyle, the weird camera angle. My computer's not even set up properly right now, so
we're not going to keep you too long. And then we got
that's
Richard.
Fine.
Whoop. Why does the Cryptoid Star Wars post have like 20 likes after 2 days? How many will buy if only that many hit like on the official page? Man, you guys should drive more action. Let's see which one he's talking about. This wasn't going to be a Cryptoid talk, but we can go back and check. I think Cryptoids is a platform that once they get their balls in order and have everything that they're planning to build out, that's what we're looking forward to, right? This one here, I didn't even see this yet. So is this I'll show you guys this for 1 second. There we go. So they're doing their own little backstory with their UFOs and Dr. Fud, and they're bringing a little bit of entertainment to what's happening with the platform. So for example, if they're going to do a burning mechanism or a vaulting mechanism, they come up with these little comic book stories and to explain maybe what's happening in a fun little way. So I think it's something that's a little bit different. I guess if I had to answer the question that Sanjay's posing here is why is there not as much traction on the Cryptoids platform compared to veve or something like that? I think it's because they're just not done building. Like they have, like I said earlier in the show, like they don't have out there what we expect from them, and nobody has that out there. Like we don't see the utility based, like no use case for any of this stuff. We want to see that. That's where we want to see that. That's why we're really bullish on that project, because they actually have it laid out there that this is where they want to go with it. This is what they want to build there. Early on, veve had that same roadmap expectations through more and more interviews and spaces and YouTube stuff and all that stuff when we heard them talk. And I think it goes for a lot of people in the space. That kind of changed what we were expecting versus what we were now realizing. Not to say that won't still happen, because we don't know. Like we don't have that guidance on that platform. I think veve still has obviously the ball in their court. They could take this thing to the moon if they wanted to, if they apply some of the same things that people want. And I think that's what's happening here. Like a lot of people came into the space, they stuck to veve because it was the only place around. People had high hopes. If you go back in time, you're going to go in time machine. All the videos were pure speculation. A lot of people hoping for, and like Marvel Mighties, we talked about them a little earlier, right? Was something that people hope for gamification, and maybe we can bring it into games, and maybe we can do stuff with that. So the majority, if not everybody, was on the veve ecosystem, and now we're starting to see things that people wanted from veve early on come up in McFarlane with different drop mechanics, where if you own this, now you can go for this drop. They're trying to reward people that way. And then you see with the Cryptoids, like they have plans for gamification for the collectibles, rigging them and having AI and all that stuff integrated. So there's that. And now we know that they're planning to do that. Then there's other platforms like Elmon X, which veve just collaborated with. I was going to talk about that, doing self-custody and things that people wanted from veve. So I don't think that any other platform, including Cryptoids, has done their full roadmap. I don't think anybody has come out with something that is an all-in-one package yet. So I think that's probably part of the reason why we haven't seen the traction in the space for any other projects yet. And the traction in the veve space has come down because of that reason as well, because they had high expectations. Some things that come out where they have to say, this is what we can really do or what we're waiting for, brought down like the whole user base in general over the spaces is down, but no one else has taken off yet because no one else has built the product that can compete with the machine yet, right? So veve could still be those guys. Veve can still go out there and say like, look, you own this Venom or whatever. Now you can go do this, play this game, or go to this metaverse and do this. The VeVeverse to us is a lot of speculation because a lot of us aren't in it yet. Those of us who are in it maybe know a little bit more, but we don't know what to expect from that. And it's been such a long time coming that the utility is unknown at this point. So I think that's why probably the space, this post here doesn't have much traction because their product is not completed. Bob, what do you think? Do you have any comments?
it's definitely overall quieter than it used to be all round at the minute. So my Twitter feed's a lot quieter. And then even myself, I've been a bit busy myself, not been paying as much attention. I've still been paying attention. Of course, you've got to keep attention, but not like I was before, where I had to check the app every hour or every half an hour to see the market prices of every single comic. I used to look at every single item I owned every day, whereas I broke that habit somewhere. I don't know where that happened, but I broke that habit. So now I'm a bit more, I wouldn't say on the outside, but I'm looking in, keeping an eye on it, but not commenting too much on that side of things, if that makes sense.
I mean, it's not a bad thing. It means that there's a lot of product, a lot of different places for people to go to, right? When maybe when you were doing that and when we were doing that and we were analyzing everything in detail, there wasn't as many things available. So it's a testament of how much they were able to bring in to the app product-wise on veve.
Well, it's like even some of the older stuff on veve is not as good as some of the newer stuff on veve. Even just that in comparison, some of the stuff can get outdated after you get better technology and stuff. I mean, down the line, all of it can possibly be upgraded. I mean, Kit never used to have the light at the front, and then it was upgraded, so it had the light. So it can be changed. But I'm not really sure.
It's something.
And
for example,
and one of the other things is right now, a lot of the crafting aspects and some of the fun ideas and some of the ways they've been switching up the mint numbers and everything. Right now, it just don't seem to be anything that we're doing or anything that veve's doing seems to be picking up the audience, and it should be. That black pink drop should have been a success in my eyes. And I think the thing that let it down maybe is there was 4 collectibles of each character. Maybe you should have done 2, then 2 craft variants, and then maybe done the stadium as a free item if you collect them all, and then wrap it up at the end with some sort of digital musical performance, or even if you put it all together and you get a quick video pop up of the Blackpink video or something, even that's pretty cool in itself. But I thought that was how that week was going to end up, and if it was just the 2 of each character and a bit of a lower box price as well, I would say that would have done better in my eyes. But because the box price was, I wouldn't say it was high for what they were, but for 4 collectibles of each one, then 2 craft variants, that makes it a bit high, if that makes sense.
I don't think it was necessarily how much veve tried to market that drop that was the problem. I don't think that it's necessarily veve's problem. I think that I think they did what they could. They put out there as much as they could. The drop was a little bit difficult, the mechanics behind it. I don't know if the plan was just to have many options. If there was going to be a lot of people coming into the space, then you have 4 days of drops, 4 different variants in case they didn't hit one on the first day. Be they were going with what happened on the Golden Moments when that first came out. If you remember the pandemonium of people rushing in, they wanted to be able to give more back to people who came in, like the new users. Even we know the MCP allocation was dropped. They didn't want to turn people away that way. So they tried different things on the marketing end for that drop. And I don't think any of that was the problem. I think that that was the proof that the appetite's not there in the space. And whatever the thing that you're trying to sell, that message didn't translate. So it's like you can put it in front of it was on the official Blackpink.
It was big. Yeah,
it was on their
band members
Instagram pages.
On the band members Instagram pages. They tweeted it out. So there was plenty of articles about it. There was, I mean, veve's own Twitter post or Twitter account went up 20k followers in about 3 days after that post.
But it didn't.
It definitely made an attraction there, but it didn't translate to the actual app itself.
I'm not really sure. That to me shows me that means that this space in general, and it goes for all projects, all platforms, that product, that the end product is not yet there. Like they don't have the thing that could hook and say, okay, this is what we're selling you. This is what you can do with it.
Also,
right now we have what we can sell you. And it's been like that for a long time with all these projects. But what can you do with it that's going to make somebody say like, oh, I can only do this here. I can only experience this in this space. That's what has to happen. We see it happening with some of our own IP. The veve logo, you have certain special things that you can do with it over time, extended use cases. There's been other things that kind of similar to that, but nothing groundbreaking where you're going to get new people into the space that want to hold these things yet. I mean, we're testing it. We're still dabbling, I think.
So one thing I would say is, again, back to the price issues. So if you're trying to bring new people in, someone that's never looked at the app before, they're going to look at that, see a $40 price point, and they're going to think about that hard. You want a new person to come into the app, look at a $10 price point, and think, I can buy a beer and a coffee for that. So I'm going to hit that button. It's not going to make a difference to my life. It's $10, if that makes sense. You're more likely to buy at that mark as a new person than buy something for 40 gems. And then if you see 4 of them items of the same character, then another 2 on top of that, then you got to pay for the craft as well, which was 20 gems. And it starts adding up, and you start working out in your head, and you sit there thinking, well, it's not actually that good in a way. Whereas if it was 10 gems each, you wouldn't have even thought about it. You'd have just brought it.
Yeah, I think that's where they're going to run into a little bit of trouble with this beautiful collectible as well, right? I mean, the way to get into it. And now this might have been an old push metric where they're trying to figure out how to make it creative and have different ways. Like I thought the Venomized idea was a good idea. Like you make the mighties where you had to venomize them. You had to get the symbiote. It was like the storyline made sense. It was like collecting the stones for the gauntlet. It was fun. It was a fun thing to do for crafting. It was fun for the people who are here. When it comes to the new people jumping into the space, it's like you said, high price to enter for something that people don't even know what it is or what it can do or what the potential is. It's a big education lesson for a high price. And I think even Cryptoids, that was their one of their big problems was that people were upset about the cost. And we do know that they have plans for lower tier collectibles in terms of price. I think they said that they have two lower ranks of tiers that they're going to have toys for, but they don't have that yet. They haven't built out that part of the platform. So you want to bring in new people who maybe have a lesser budget, it's going to be hard to do that way. They do now have transfers or the self-custody available now. You can gift, and a lot of creators I've seen in the space utilizing that. McFarlane stuff was exclusively what we gave away on the channel because it was all we could give away at the time when it came to licensed digital collectibles. Now Cryptoids has opened up that avenue for us to be able to do that. And I think, imagine if we had the transfer capability on when Blackpink came in, and if the price was a little bit lower, like you mentioned, like people would be able to pick up some of these things. Maybe those hammer things that they gave out, or not give out, but it was a drop. Maybe that would have been a great first drop where it was something a little bit cheaper, and then people can buy into that and gift to their friend, and it would give them hype about the next drops that are upcoming for the week. Similar to when Golden Moments was around. Like back then, you could do transfers. You could figure out ways to send things to people. Transfers is underrated. I think it's very underrated, especially when it comes to this stuff here, because that's like how the flame spreads. That's how people talk about this stuff. And I think that was one of the big reasons why veve had all the success it did, because you were able to be liquid and move stuff around. And there wasn't cash out at the beginning, but it didn't matter because people felt like they could share with their friends and family. I remember Rob's stuff was I'll never forget. He said he was playing poker. He's at the table and he's just like talking to the guys at the table. He's like, oh, check this out. And he sends them a collectible across the table. So now that, like you said, the technology's come a long way. The stuff looks great now, better than ever with drops like this. And I think, imagine you were able to share that and try to explain what better marketing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And also with your family members, you can send them stuff. And I do still think the gift card idea was a good idea, to sell gift cards so you can give them to family members at Christmas and birthday, and then get new people in, essentially. So,
yep. I want to bring up the next one here. So let me bring this up again. This drop here, because I really like what they're doing in this here. This is the Handle with Care drop. This is an Elmon X by veve drop. So we're going to go quickly into the article. handle with care. Basically, it's the grenade collectible. There's, I think, 4 colors. You got the red at 395 editions at 30 gems. It's an ultra rare, and you need minimum 5,000 MCP points for the MCP allocation. Do you know how much is allocated for MCP? Is it back to 50%, Bob? Are you sure?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. You got the green, same amount of editions, so you got 2 of the ultra rares.
They're
red
both
and green.
animated with sound as well.
Oh yes, I see that. So
yeah.
Very curious. Oh, maybe it'll be like a heart.
Yeah. That's all I expect.
Yeah. It was like, this is still pretty cool. So that's a green one. Then you got the orange, which is 188 edition. So we've really come down on the edition sizes in line with, I guess, the user base at the moment. But this is not the part that I really like. Some of the intricacies that I do here. Then you got the blue Secret Rare, which is only 25 editions. But if you're able to land this guy, there's a physical being mailed out to, I think they hold back 5 and 20 people are going to get a physical. So this is kind of reminding me of like that Matt Gone deck drop where if you landed that certain variant, it was something that they sent out a physical for. So I like that. I like that intricacy. I think we heard a lot from veve about doing fidgetals, and I think this is a great way to do it, where you have certain things that will allocate you different privileges if you were able to land those in the drop. I think that there should be more of that. There's another one here where if you land mint number 395, you're going to get a physical, I guess, artwork here, right? That can be shipped to people. This is one in the 395, but I think you need to get that in the red variant. But I want to give an example here. When we sold our Starboys, we did our Starboy drop. One of the ways we made it fun was as we were selling them, we had chase variants. We made it fun. We did a little storyline, kind of like the Cryptoids thing where they did that. They're doing storylines for everything. We did a storyline of, if you guys don't know our Starboys, we have the Fudders and the Moon Boys. So we got the angry Starboys and got the happy Starboys. So we had, we made like a couple of them criminals, and they would like abduct the Moon Boys. And then we put like a bounty. If you find this if you find this Starboy, then you get, and we had McFarlane giveaways at the time because that's all we could give away. We had other things that we did certain giveaways, but we did that as a chase. Like, so if you minted that number and it was random, we know the number, we knew the order that things were coming out in, but people were minting them and then they would land. I think, did you win one? I don't know, somebody.
Yeah. I won a few, and then I entered the competition and then got like right at the end and then failed it by one person. I even went to the McDonald's and found a Coke. I can't remember if it was a Coke machine or what it was. It was take a picture outside a Starbucks or something. I can't remember what it was. But I failed by one person. I was not happy.
That was the Million Omi competition.
I worked hard for that competition and all.
But you know what? That was one of the best, like the most fun things we've done on the channel because of all the participation. Like people were going out there sending photos of them with like Starbucks employees with their Starboy. It was something that was next level. So like that's what I'm saying. Like this type of drop here, you have that type of chase factor. I think this should be like a regular thing where you have, maybe it doesn't even have to be physical. It could be anything where it's like if you land this mint number, if you land this variant, you get access to this. That's the type of utility just to get going. And then as you're going, you can maybe pull up McFarlane and gate drops with certain collectibles. Make people want to hold the collectibles. Make them want to say like, oh, I don't know what you're going to use next. Like we saw it recently with the Rambo. Now, if you held a Rambo, you're able to craft. I think you had to buy it from the store, but you're able to craft one of the posters that are upcoming. So they're starting to listen to what I think is going to start to work in the long run. Hopefully, this is something they can start to really massage into the product and make it more than just that collectible that just sits there that you buy and it does nothing. In the real world might work. You got artwork you can show off to people. Right now, we don't have that tech where I can put it on this wall and anybody who walks in can look at it. We don't have that available yet. So until that point, realistically, it's on your phone, it's on whatever. So having more utility in any other way is something that I think the space needs. And I think they're starting to get it with these types of drop mechanics.
The other thing is the chase used to be the secret rare. It used to be the secret rare. But then it got to the point where the secret rares are not really worth as much as they was back in the day. So to then start improving it by adding extra mints or making the first edition for public sale number 3, for instance, which was one drop the last week. And it's nice to see that veve have been keeping less editions as well, especially on the secret rares. I noticed they've been keeping a lot less editions on the secret rares. They used to keep a lot, even on the small drops. I remember there was a drop before, I think it was under 100 editions, and they still kept like 25 of them. Whereas recently they've done one kind of similar to that, but they only kept 2 of them. So that's a hell of a difference. They've definitely started to lower that. And hey, my favorite positive person. It's good to see you.
Yeah, I got MC in the chat. Guys, I mean, I think you're onto something, but I think also the way that people were playing this app back then versus how it is now is a lot different, right? I mean, that time and that pandemonium and that type of platform is not what it is or what it will ever be in terms of I mean, there was just so much happening. It was a locked ecosystem. Yeah. There was half price gems. There was a lot of things that led to that type of pandemonium. It was also the birth of NFTs, where people were just buying whatever they thought would stick. You throw something at the wall, it sticks. We've seen it with altcoins back in 2017. Like, I don't know if anybody was here. They remember that time. It was every altcoin had a story and people were just buying whatever, and 99.9% went to zero. Then we had another resurgence in 2021 of the altcoins, meme coins, but it wasn't the same ones from 2020 or from 2017. It was a different set and it wasn't as many. So like as time goes on, these things start to filter, and veve is in that class of collectibles, of premium digital collectibles that is well renowned. Like, people know who veve is. People who were here are still here from back then. They're still here now. It's not something that's just going to go away. I think that they're just going to adapt, and they're going to figure out a way to blend into wherever this space goes. And these types of things are things that are going to help them. This type of drop, when I saw this, I was really excited about how they're doing it. I liked the Mac on deck drop. I liked how they had that chase variant, and I think this drop is very similar. Obviously, a little bit easier to do when it comes to independence. This is Nick Walker through Elmon X. Elmon X also very popular in this space with what they're doing over there. It's a great exposure for them as well. And I like that they're crossbreeding with another project in the space. It shows that they're not just only worried about their own platform. They also care about bringing up other platforms as well. So that's something else that I wanted to talk about, that drop there. I think I have one more thing. Oh, yeah. So we got to talk about the spaces. We got to talk about the spaces. Now, I don't know, you're a little bit ahead of us in terms of time zones. So I don't think that you were awake probably during that space that was being all tweeted and popularized over X yesterday and the day before. We made a video about it.
Maybe not. I see the video yesterday.
Mm-hmm. So there was a spaces, and it was just basically, I don't remember who was running the space. I think maybe Loco was running it. And there was a bunch of people in there, and we were listening. Actually, we did our video. We went off camera and we were just listening on the computer through the StreamYard to what people were saying and talking about. And actually, like, when I was awake, because I think Rob still kept listening, but while I was awake, they weren't even talking about veve in general. They were talking about like their comic book collections. You had John up there, just like spitting pure facts about how like his collection, his physical collection. So maybe there's some physical comics that he might want before he wants a digital comic, because right now, like he's saying, you go into a store and you're talking to those guys who are physical comic collectors. I know we got MC and whoever else in the chat that's a physical comic guy. If there's, like he said, I think there was an AF-15. He goes, it's a 0.5 grade AF-15. It was like $11,000 it got listed for on auction or something somewhere. And then if you're going to compare that to like a secret rare AF-15 digital, and you walk into a store or anybody like a comic book collector, he said, they won't even think twice. They would want the physical 0.25 or 0.5 grade just because that's the original like print of Spider-Man FA. Like that's just like historical. It has that time built into it. It's all that. So like he's saying that there is some disconnect, but maybe the time hasn't come yet for digital. Like maybe that's in 30, 40 years where people are going to be talking about, oh, the stuff and stuff. But it was just like, it wasn't that, like, then there was talk about it on X and people putting it out as a FUD space and saying like, oh, because there's certain people who maybe have strong opinions about veve and whatever, anybody listening to this space is a Fudder automatically. And there was screen caps, and there was great people in that screen capture, great friends of the channel who don't even really, sometimes some of them don't even speak FUD at all. Like they don't even talk negatively about the project, and they're in the screenshot and it's put out there and then they're labeled a Fudder, labeled like whatever. So we did a video saying like, what are you talking about? Some of these people like are actually good intentions, John being one of them. And the conversation was really good. So I think there's some of that drama though.
There's only one person that named a space. And a lot of people can join a space, watch a space, and get photoed in the same photo.
Yeah.
And they could just be listening because they're bored. It could be,
I mean, the one thing, like, though, is that people are talking. They're talking about the product. They're talking about veve. Even if it's the same people still are talking about the product. Like, they're listening to people talk about the product, good or bad. That's still discussion, right? I mean, it'd be nice to see a little bit more reach. Obviously, everybody's still working on that in this space, and that's where the saying comes together, where everybody's a rising tide lifts all ships. To get the tide to rise, maybe there's some engineering that has to happen where they can lift up the water or figure that out, but nobody's done it yet. veve had the first big surge. They brought in that first wave of water, and now the water's kind of lowering down. You know, like when you get those build up. I know people in Hawaii, they know what that's about. When I went there, I remember them all talking about the rising tides and when you don't want to go on the beach and all that stuff. So it's something like that. But it was a fun video yesterday, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it. Trying to go.
You actually started.
What's that?
Do you remember when you added that selection? That bit to your Discord. I can't remember whether it was a flirting Discord. You actually started something with that.
What do you mean?
Have you seen the chat?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I got
having a laugh with.
I gotta go down there maybe home. I'm way behind here.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Art and Tron.
Yep. And if I remember rightly, it was them two that were talking in there all that time ago when you first made that. They've both been
long-time supporters of the channel. I mean, glad to see them both here today. Yeah, so this is going back to that Crypto Voice post. Dr. Fudd, he's a great story. I can't wait to see what else they come. Actually, I want to show you guys something. This is a secret pickup from us. We were not in the club when this dropped, but we ended up picking up one of the boards. Somebody reached out to us, and we made a deal. So we got an Ultra Grail board. We got in the day after the snapshot or something. So.
I'm still waiting for mine to be posted.
Yeah. We got in the day after, so that was a fun one. We definitely wanted to have that. We got Kid Arcade, guys. If you're not following Kid Arcade, especially his weekend shows, he's always giving back to the community. Definitely check out Kid Arcade. He's one of the funniest in the space for me. I mean, I just love his commentary. He's just a natural on the mic, so definitely check out Kid Arcade. FA Grogu and Mandu. For people who FA matters, I think that that's big time. We're going to see what happens with FA. I'm not completely sold on it yet. I don't know that first appearance on blockchain is something that is going to be the end all. I know that there's a lot of people who don't agree with that statement, but for me, like, its first ever appearance, that is something that is always going to hold that weight. And I think now that they have the same day drop with the comics, that could be first ever appearance for whatever new characters come out in the next whatever amount of time. I think it's a big deal. You got the digital drop in the exact same time as the physical. And eventually when paper does disappear, that might be the only place that it drops. And then I think that value carries. I know that people are going to think differently, and that's fine. Like, people have their own opinions. It's not something that we're going to push and say like this is the only way, because obviously that's what the channel is about, covering all the sides. Only 20 likes for FA Grogu after 2 days. I don't know where that post is. The one that I'm seeing is the Toyminated storyline. This other one here maybe he's talking about. So this one here is about the vaulting, which is something that, like I said, I think we're gonna let them cook, let them build their platform out, and let's see if they can get a little bit more traction. More than us, people should show them more love. I think we need to see some positivity in the space. I think MC1's right. Just in general, across all platforms, start to make it somewhere where people want to hang out. Regardless, like criticisms are not. And I think that's what I was trying to get across yesterday too, is that even though there are people who are critical, they're still there having a good time. Sometimes you go in there, they're just like chatting it up. Sometimes they're not talking about the projects. They're just talking about like old school rock and roll was one of the topics. Like there's some things that come up. I know that with you, even like you're not a negative guy in any way, but sometimes we go off topic. We talk about like the UFC or any of that stuff. So it's just, it makes it a welcoming place. Then you got great superstars like Superstar Steve in the building, who's always uplifting and bringing a smile to everybody's face. So yeah, shout Crypto is out, Mr. MC1. Yeah, I think that Sanjay will naturally enjoy the platform once it's up and running. I think our NFTs are boring. Yeah, this is what we're saying. I think I'm way behind. Sorry, Bob. I'm half an hour behind the chat.
It's normally me. I'm normally well behind in the chat.
Yeah. If you got anything, just feel free to interrupt me. I'm just going to catch up here. Cryptoize is going to target kids. I think kids are in X. I think they could do good outside of X. Crypto people, if they gamify this IP. The games, I mean, that's something that we're real excited for. The AI integration. I think it's great to have another place and another team of developers that could build something that other platforms could learn from it and then integrate themselves. A good example is that self-custody, the way that Cryptoize did that, even if it doesn't have the traction right now, like Vivi's got to look at that and say, okay, they did it like that. Maybe we could do something like that on our platform now, because they found a way to tiptoe with the licenses, right? So, and make everybody happy. So hopefully that's something that helps build the space in general, and I think it will. Facts, Richard. Utility. What's up, bro? Traction on Twitter isn't always the same as traction on the platform. That Earth2 project that supposedly has 600,000 active daily users gets around 20. Like, whoa. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the statistics, but we'll see what happens. We got OG Vault in the chat. I saw him doing a drop stream the other day, so it's good to see him still sticking to it and bringing the community together. He's got a great following over there. So a lot of stuff we learned on how to do drops through OG Vault's channel. Ritmo wasn't originally animated. We'd love to see more animations added to old collectibles. Yeah, that's one thing when we did our interview with Reese way back when. He mentioned it's a big lift. I feel like it would almost be like a token you would have to have that would unlock whatever experience or whatever collectible in whatever other format. I'm not sure that they're going to go back and completely rig the collectibles that aren't rigged. But maybe they will gate certain situations, which I think is good enough. I don't think they have to go back and rig everything.
I think it's like what you say, the busts and stuff. I think they will always stay as busts. Yeah, always stay as collectible statues.
But that might be your key, right? That might be that's how Cryptoize kind of structured their market, where I think they create a ghost token that you put in your MetaMask, and then you can transfer or do whatever you need to do, bring it into the third party market. Something I think Vivi could do for sure. Got Osmond. Hope you can keep it well, Bob. Hope you can make the meetup in London soon. You forgot a soon in there, soon on this channel. But yeah, I mean,
I've officially stole your soon. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a story behind that. I'll tell you another day.
It's non-proprietary.
I've officially stole that soon.
A lot of our commentary is non-proprietary, whatever the word is. I can't say that word, proprietary. And I like it. I like that people are catching on to it. We got Limey Lemur in here, friend of the channel. There's a lot of bots on Earth 2, apparently. I think this whole space is is fun when it comes to that. Meta, I think he's talking to Lamer there. We got Tron. I haven't updated VV app in about a month. Are all my collectibles going to zero? Log in your app so you get your MCP points. It's every 7 days you have to log in, or else they stop giving you the points. Make sure you log in, or your MCP points are going to zero. It's going to happen. all the collectibles or 1 gem. Sorry, Tron. I mean, you can't list below 1. So that's something that we learned, and that's something that Rob had to have the hard reality that there will never be comics below 1 gem, despite how many they put there. So that's another video topic I want to talk about. Is I'm going to save that one. That's going to be saved for another video, because I have a great idea for that video. Blackpink. Oh my God. We are far behind. Sorry guys if I skip through you quickly here, because I don't want to be here until 4 a.m. like Bob. Maybe it was a W now. Yeah. Adro. We got Adro in the building. We need a new Vivi Fox video about Blackpink. I hope that she's doing well. She does great work. I love my Rancor and Jabba. Yeah, those ones are great quality as well. Yeah, I think Bob has time tonight. Yeah, Bob, I don't know what he was doing before we came on. It's difficult.
I was getting drunk in that Twitter space with Duck and Cover, but I managed to sober myself up. I'm joking, of course.
This is another thing. I think the simpler we can make the platform. I think that was one of the biggest benefits of the platform when a lot of people jumped on. When we jumped on at first, it was easy. It was easy to use. Now you got the web platform, MCP points. It's almost like a detriment and make things a little bit more difficult. People are like, what the heck is MCP points? They don't know what it is, right?
I tell you one thing I don't like. When we do a drop article now and it's got VV vibes written on it, or VV comics written on it, I like it to just say VV.
Just generic, maybe a different color heart or something.
I don't like. I know. I get it's like sections, and we've got different parts now and stuff like that. But I don't like it not saying just VV on the articles. I think because if you used to look at that from an outside perspective, I think if you used to look at that music one for the Blackpink, you'd be searching in VV vibes, and then getting up VV vibes. Well, not that he's called VV vibes anymore. Maybe that's why. Maybe he got the heads up at first.
That's convenient timing.
Yeah, it was 100%.
What is going to continue to hurt values is a continuous dilution of new drops. Model is fine for growing the platform, but users not growing at the moment, it's been tough. Obviously, the more things you add to the marketplace with the less users, it's that's automatic. There's only so many gems to go around. When Wolverine Mighty, I don't know. I would think they would come up with a more X-Men once they just started. Yeah. There you go. That's how you spell it.
It was like they dropped that Wolverine, didn't they? And they said there's going to be another 5 versions, I think. Yeah. So we know we're going to get a Mighty Marvel one eventually.
Yeah, they wanted the other. Oh, you think that's going to be one of the 5?
It has to be. It has to be. It has to
I don't think so.
They love Mighty Marvels too much to not make
the Hulk that way. The Hulk never came mighty.
This is very true.
We'll see what happens.
This is very true.
Due to 2 years, emails being sent out. Oh, true. Because people, the 2-year emails, like they lock their accounts for now. There's some accounts that get locked if you don't lock in for 2 years. When trading, we talked about this. That Danny Boy stuff is worrisome. He has the resources to motivate to hurt Vivi. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is there. I don't think he's been clear on exactly what he wants to do there. He's obviously doing some type of data collection. I don't know.
Can I be honest? Be honest? I don't think he was doing anything. I think you see that one Dapper Lab article that come out, and after 2 years of hiding in the woodwork, he pops his head up and is like, "Oh yeah, that's what I've been doing in the background." I personally think that's what happened.
Well, the one thing that I think Vault's got a point here is that he's been screen capturing some kind of a response from Vivi on his tweets. So looks like he has sent something to them to respond to, but again, we don't know the extent of it, so it's like hard to comment on what.
One of the other things was if it was a complaint about some of the old stuff, and then they'd done that trade to kind of rectify a complaint, then you've got no leg to stand on because you've already had that complaint kind of rectified. If that makes sense. Even though this one's a whole different story about a different thing, but yeah, I think personally, on a personal level, I think he see that one video and was like, "I've got to be honest, that's not a bad idea," and I think that's what happened. I don't think he ever had any plans for that before.
Yeah, Ferrari doesn't worry about getting more users. There are plenty of people with money who are not here yet. It's only about getting people to understand NFTs and understand the tech. That's exactly the point that we're trying to make, is that how do you make people understand the tech better than showing them that this is something you could only do because you have this technology? Like, you can't do that any other way. Proving ownership, proving that you hold this collectible to be able to do certain things. Like, that's the flex. That's like, if you're able to make social virality, like you can get viral on social media because you can only do certain things with certain collectibles. That's why the Flick Play model, they have a very small audience on that platform, but the idea makes sense. So like the fact we really like to push that that platform in terms of how they're building, because we want to see that come to veve. We want to see that come to Cryptoys. We want to see social rank and social score of collectibles be a thing where now, for example, on FlickPlay, if you use a collectible in their video, their TikTok, if you use a collectible, it gets a social score. So the more people that are using that collectible, the rank goes up. So then when people are looking, oh, what's the most trendy collectibles, they're able to search that way and then bring in attention, right? So imagine if you're a big brand, or imagine if you're something, you're able to hit that algorithm, you come out with an idea that's viral, people are searching, that's another way for people to come and learn about your brand, learn about your stuff. So they have the idea there. Implementation yet to be seen, to be determined, right? But we're going to follow that. We're going to track it just to see. We got more information in the building.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
I'm not used to being down here, but
yeah, I can't get my angles right. I don't know which side you are.
Bob, how you doing? How you doing, man?
You're so blurry right now. I don't know what happened.
I don't know, but I saw you guys were on. I just got home right now. I'm like, let me just jump on quickly. I'm assuming by now you're probably wrapping up, but
yeah, it's close. I think, I don't know. I've been far behind the chat. I'm just trying to catch up. But we talked about veve has a couple of drops coming out. The Carnage, they showed how it looks. We talked about clean, we talked about the grenade drop that's coming out, where they have the chase variants. I compared it to Starboys, about how we did as we sold the collection. It was if you landed a certain mint, you got airdrops or whatever was happening. I said they took a page out of that. Very good idea. I like that.
Yeah.
And then the last thing we talked about was the FUD spaces a little bit. And then Sanjay was here. He was talking about Cryptoys, maybe how come there's not as much traction on their social media and stuff like that. And it was just going off about how they haven't built their product yet. The utility's not built yet. There's people who aren't able to find it because of that. So I don't know if you want to talk on any of those points, and then we can close up here. But that's basically just.
Yeah, I mean, over the last hour, all I'll say is that I mean, those are all good topics, but the first one that you mentioned about the Carnage, that looks clean. Okay, I saw the collectible; it actually looked clean. It's been a while since I've seen a collectible that I'm like, okay, this is like high quality 3D. So I got to give him credit on that one for sure. You said the FUD spaces. I mean, we did a video on it yesterday. I think a lot of people liked it after that. So, like, we did a video that we discussed the best that we could in terms of like both sides of the story and exactly what does it mean? Why are there even Fudders? Why do they even exist in the first place? As for Cryptoys, for sure, you know they had the iJustine thing that they rolled out when they started their unboxing. I think when their gamification comes out, they're going to start targeting that too. But I think that as time goes on and they actually have the product built out, you're going to see a ramp up. And in the meantime, we're just enjoying the DTE, getting some cheap deals right now in the market. But that's for us personally, obviously, we like. So
yeah, I showed them this, Rob. I showed them this.
Yes.
A big pickup.
Yes.
Club.
I'm still waiting for mine.
Oh wait, you want one? You're trying to get one?
I'm still waiting for mine.
Did you get an Ultra Real?
I was hoping Will was going to post me one like a year ago, just for the sake of being Bob, you know. But it hasn't arrived yet. I'm still waiting.
He wants the handout.
I'm still waiting for it. I asked from day one.
Yeah.
I want veve to have high price point for high end characters. I mean, like I said, I think that this ship has sailed when it comes to value immediate value on these things. I think it's the narrative is changing to what can we do with these things, and then people wanting to hold them for those reasons rather than for price appreciation. I think it's just something that's naturally happening here.
Yeah.
They could have. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm looking at some of the comments on the sign here, and there's one really interesting one. But go ahead first. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going through. You could keep going if you want. My voice is starting to hurt.
Okay. No problem. What's up, Pastor They can have a second issue of each with a lower price point. I mean, that's something we talked about a long time ago. I think in 2022 we had a video was talking about. I think we have a video title that says that VV will release second editions of their mint, and it's always on the table. Yeah. That's when you have an FA tag, you can literally re-release the same thing. We know, for example, Cryptoids is for sure going to be doing that. We know 100% they're going to be doing that, but they might have less on the statometer. They may not be as powerful. That's why they have like the hero tier. They have different tiers of powers for gamification purposes. So we know that they're going to probably have more Darth Vaders, let's say, for example, which will not be as powerful as the OG ones. Yeah. You think the Dapper lawsuit will force you to do self-custody like Cryptoids rolled out coincidentally at the same time in the settlement? I really believe that VV will have no choice and they will release self-custody exactly like how Cryptoids did. I think that VV will eventually have the ghost token. This is the same approach that Cryptoids has done. I have no idea how long it'll take them, but if they learned anything from Dapper, I think they got to do it. What do you think, Bob? They got to do it.
Personally, for me, it's not overly that important for me, but I know a lot of people like that, and I know a lot of people want that. So I can see the reasons for it, and I can see the reasons against it. So I'm a bit in between. It's not really something I'm too interested in my side, but I get why people want it as well, and I get that they kind of need to cover their asses at one point. And all.
It might be the only way.
There's also that.
It might be the only way they could do transfers when they move forward, right? So I think that might be part of the reason why maybe.
Another thing I would say though is just that it goes back to the simple facts of things. I wouldn't go to a shop and buy this pop toy over here and then expect it to dance for me in a couple of months after I brought it. I know that's not the same thing, but it is kind of I always told everyone on my channel to buy what you see, as in now.
I think you can. The thing with that, you can display that in your house, in your everyday. It goes back to what we talked about earlier. Is that
I own it. I can, if I want to trash that now, throw that on the floor.
But you could put it up in your space, and now I can see it in your background, and I could watch because you've placed it there, and I could look at it, right? Like that type of the tech doesn't exist yet, like that georeferencing, geolocation. And when that does come, the utility is there. That now I can put this collectible that doesn't move on a shelf. Rob, come over. He can walk in my house. He can be like, whoa, look at that thing you got on your wall there. Like, that's new. I don't remember that. And he has his glasses on and like something like that, right? But it's like if I walk in your house, I can say, hey, Bob, look at those addiction comics that you just got there. Those are new. I love, like, that's the part that matters when it comes to stationary, static things. You're able to show it off that way.
I suppose that's half what the Viviverse was for.
Vivi's got to onboard people.
That was 6 months ago, and that was 8 months ago, and then it was a year before that, and then it was. Yeah.
You're right. People can see through the Viviverse, but again, that's still within the VV ecosystem, right? You want it to be something that you can show people that aren't in the VV ecosystem that makes them want to get into the VV ecosystem, right? So if it's just on their VV app phone.
Best we've got so far is the digital photo frames, what no one can seem to find.
Yeah, that too. I just think the tech's not there when it comes to that stuff.
I want to give a shout out to ODB here. It's time they stop holding back so many editions. It's unnecessary. It's a good point. I think with the market the way it is, you're only selling like 300 mints. Why hold back 90? That's a good point.
I think they've definitely lowered the ones on the secret rares. The last couple of articles, definitely. I would say anyway.
Yep. If NFT takes off again, there'll be plenty of whales that will want Secret Rare Spider-Man, and there will only be 1,000. You might be surprised just how high prices the rails go. Well, that's always the theory. The theory is if the masses do come, then maybe 1,000 will look small. It remains to be seen, though, if the masses do come, will they ultimately be interested in, let's say, the FA collectibles, if they can get other options, if there's other Spider-Mans, are they going to be interested in this historic FA version? And with the theory of collection and collectors, then that's the bull case I think that Pasternak's referring to. So as time goes on, we shall see.
Do you remember? Do you remember when we done the video about the Iron Man?
I'm trying to remember. Remind me
about why FA Iron Man does not matter anymore.
Oh, yes.
The sparkling, shiny, animated one, and then you've got the golden moment one.
I think that was you guys. I wasn't here. I was on vacation.
Fan, which one do you buy? You buy the normal one that flies about.
I do remember that. We had some good videos there for sure.
That was a good laugh, that one as well.
Yeah,
it didn't come yet. It still didn't come. Our shoes. We got the Void and the Classic. So they should be coming.
We got to unbox then, Joe. We got to unbox on video for sure. Okay, guys. I mean, I came late. Sorry, but
hashtag blame Rob.
At least I came at some point at the end here. I saw it's pretty late. It's already midnight on our end. So, guys, thank you so much for joining. And
it's 5 a.m. my side.
You gotta go back. You're gonna go back to bed now. You go back to sleep.
Yeah. I literally fell asleep on my desk as I was waiting for this to start.
Too. Yeah.
And then I got the message and it woke me up. I was like, yeah, I'm here.
I passed out. And like I was trying to go on a little bit earlier today because they got D and Hanano doing a space with Video Shane. So if you guys want, you can jump from here, go check out their channel. I don't know if they're still going. But I feel bad. I woke up right at like 10:30, so like there was zero time. But again, we've been setting up with Bob for a while here, so I wanted to catch up with him, and it's been a fun time.
Yeah, nice seeing you, Bob. And guys, thank you all for joining in today. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their weekend. If you haven't already, don't forget, become a superstar, smash the subscribe button, join the super fam, hit the bell notification to get every single video every single day. Also to our VIPs, the gold stars are finally here. Bones came in and just showed it off to everybody. First time that I saw it. So super duper rares are here. Joe and I are going to sit down. We got to do something special for you guys. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you. Thank you, Bob, so much as well. Guys, take care. See you next one. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.